All right, the data report for September is finally out, so let's take a sneak peek at it together. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the data. The total number of listings was 189, which is an increase of 3.28% compared to the same period last year. A total of 73 properties were sold, which is a decrease of 3.95% compared to the same period last year. The average price is in the 800,000 range, so it's still at that level, but it's already at the bottom now. A lot of people often ask about the negotiation room for a property, like, is it possible to negotiate a lot with the seller right now? What's the typical difference between the asking price and the final sale price? In September, the ratio of asking price to final sale price was 97.5%, which means there's about 2.5% room for negotiation. For a property priced at 1 million, that's roughly 25,000 in negotiation space, just to give you an idea. So how long do the sold properties typically stay on the market? Right now in Nanaimo, it's 47 days, which is a 23% increase compared to the same period last year. In other words, properties are taking a bit longer to sell on the market. Currently, there are a total of 391 listings. So if we do the math, the inventory is at 5.3 months. This is considered a normal level. So overall, Nanaimo is a balanced market, neither favoring buyers nor sellers. But in a moment, I'll talk to you about some areas that do lean towards being a buyer's market. So to sum up, the big event in September was that mortgage rates started to decrease. This was in the news, as everyone knows, but in my opinion, this hasn't really had much of an effect. We haven't seen a sudden or significant drop, and in fact, the number of homes sold has even dipped slightly to 3.95. So as we move into October, which is this month, we'll continue to watch and see what impact there might be. Personally, I feel that this quarter has already started to slow down gradually. It's already the end of the season and things are slowing down. So I estimate that on October 25th, should be October 25th, but if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, they might cut interest rates. But even if interest rates are cut, I don't think there will be a sudden surge in October or November, or that everyone will rush to buy houses at Christmas time. I think during Christmas, people don't really want to deal with that. So I believe this demand will accumulate, and it might not be until next spring, when houses are listed, that these buyers will gradually start to enter the market. First-time home buyers might begin consulting their lawyers or mortgage brokers, and things will only start to pick up slowly then. So next spring will be a new season, and we want to see whether prices will actually go up or down. We'll keep paying attention to it when the time comes. But as for the current situation, we can see that recently, especially in October, most of the people viewing houses are investors. They've already started looking. Previously, there were basically no investors, but now investors are gradually starting to look at houses. What kind of properties are they interested in? Properties priced between 700,000 and over 800,000, basically as long as the numbers add up. What we mean by the numbers add up is that if the money isn't lost, there's positive cash flow, and even just breaking even is considered a necessity. These are the types of properties suitable for investors to buy. But of course, most investors are still waiting and watching. Finally, let's take a look at a few areas. For example, in the North Nanaimo area, the inventory is actually very high. In September, a total of 12 units were sold, while there are 105 active listings in the North area. Hammond Bay is even more severe. Only 2 units were sold in total, and there were 31 active listings in September, which means there is about 15 months worth of inventory. So these two places are both what we call the North area, and you can get ocean views here, which everyone likes, and the homes are all over $1 million. But the data here shows that houses over $1 million are hard to sell because there really is a lot of inventory. It's definitely a buyer's market. So if you're a buyer, this is a good opportunity. You can go check out these houses, and when you see the price, you can really negotiate with them. Why is that? Because it's a buyer's market. So to sum up, what will happen in October? Will prices go up, go down, or what? Personally, I feel that if you're a buyer, sellers might make a move in the last quarter. They might start a wave of price cuts. If they really want to keep selling, generally there will be some degree of price reduction. Now, we've already seen that some houses are not just dropping by 10,000 at a time. Some are dropping by 30,000, some by 50,000, and some even by 40,000. Of course, these are individual cases. In Nanaimo, people are still relatively conservative, so you can take your time to look around. If you find something you like, you can negotiate slowly. Since there are more listings now, as long as the seller is still on the market, you can negotiate with them. It's not about being aggressive. If the seller is willing to sell and our buyers are interested in buying, then you can definitely negotiate with them. All right, that's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. Bye.